Hello, everyone. My name is G. Welcome to the arena. Today is Content Monday. It was originally going to be Fun Day Monday until I looked at the date. So it's Content Monday this week. And unfortunately, we're starting late today. I had a call with a couple people that went long and then needed another extension. So what was supposed to be a 1 hour call turned into a 3 hour call, which is fun when that happens. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to watch film this week. It was just going to be me watching uh, some videos to kind of think through some of the future content that I make. But we can do that later. Do some React content later. Instead, we've got the Pocket Founder dev update, which I'll record live just by streaming it, and I'll use the stream recording later. To fix that stuff. Descript. So it's a editing software. First time using it, it uses AI, which is the thing that's in vogue right now. And so it does transcription-based editing as opposed to timeline-based editing. I'm very used to timeline-based editing. I personally use Camtasia because it's bundled recorder and editor, very useful for someone who's uninitiated like me in video editing and content and all that type of stuff. Makes it a lot easier. But I'm trying out new technology, script. It's gonna be fun, and we can brainstorm future pieces of content. Right. So we've got the stream here, G in the arena. We have If G Can Build, which I need to actually record and edit that. That's supposed to be the code with ChatGPT type stuff, which GPT is getting on my nerves recently. It's not been producing good stuff, so we'll see about the future of that content. It might just be me actually building, which will be nice for a change. Um, and yeah, so going back up the list, I guess. The dev update. Yeah, I'm not happy with the progress that I made last week, but in my defense, there's a family medical thing that I had to help out with, so that took 2 days off. So, not great, and stuff that you have to deal with. But you know, happy that I'm able to get back into it this week, and hopefully, we'll get some really good. Get the app in a good position to start testing again on the 2.0 pivot idea. So, we can start. Actually, before we do that, make another piece of content right here, right now. And I'll actually need to create a new screen for that. So, bear with me a moment. I could technically show you as I'm building it. So, oh no, that looks bad. But just don't pay attention to that museum piece there. So we're gonna create any screens. This will be my face cam only. I know, a lot of cringes going on. So no one wants to see this mug in full, but that's what you're gonna get. Video capture is existing. Webcam. There's me. And there's that. So if we get it to the center somehow, we'll use the arrow keys to make some finer adjustments there. 40. Okay. That's as best as we're going to get. I'm really considering the aspect ratio here, so maybe a little zoom. Make sure that I stand here. I was considering taping an X on the ground, as some stages and other places do, to let a speaker know where they're supposed to stand. You gotta note where it is. It's the divot in there, and just clean up the background. I'm so professional. Should have done this beforehand, but then again, I didn't have much of beforehand. So, all right, gotta stand here. Is that the center? No. Here. Cool. We're locked in. That's the camera. So, cool. I'm going to move this over here. And save it. So cool. You guys have me in full screen. So that's cool. So I got the boundary is here. That's great. Let's do a piece of unboxing content. Why don't we? So what did I get in the mail? I got an Xbox controller. So I actually really love the game Starfield. It's treated me really well. And I just love RPGs in general, like role-playing games that let you go around, explore, and do quests and collect items and, you know, be able to customize your character in a bunch of different cool ways, right? And I think one of the things about, like, the aesthetic of Starfield is, obviously, there's the sci-fi thing. You have, like, kind of a futuristic-ish setting and different factions. So one faction where it's kind of so one is a western, like a cowboy-esque environment. You have kind of a really American-style militarized / consumeristic people, and then kind of the religious zealots, right, which is another archetype in sci-fi, and then the pirates. There's a bunch of like pirates. Another aesthetic is like the astronauts, or basically your suit in like exploring space is in like a sci-fi version of like an Apollo looking spacesuit, which I think is cool and interesting because a lot of people do it in like a super form functioning manner. When you look at like Halo or Destiny or other stuff like that, like in Starfield, it's like thick, bulbous, like everyone's in like a puffy jacket and that type of stuff. I also wanted to shout out my shirt here. They just said that Tom Brady is getting into the Patriots Hall of Fame and skipping like a 4-year waiting period, which he absolutely deserves it. But I wish they could skip the waiting period for him getting into the Hall of Fame because I think he is probably the greatest football player ever. But anyways, this is about the controller. So, Xbox controller. I don't actually have an Xbox. I use PC, but sometimes I want to use a controller for certain games. And so, there's that. There's also, you can use an Xbox controller to control different robotic applications. And so, I have a little robot over here, which is now off screen. But, you can use, obviously, an Xbox controller to control some of those things, which is very nice, right? So, I'm just going to open this up real quick. There's a little... Oh, actually, they have a tab, I think, where you can open it. Great. No even scissors needed. So, cool. Opening this up. One of the things that I always am interested in, not just from, like, unboxing, like, the actual device itself, but just kind of noticing, like, how people present their unboxing experience and how the box looks, right? I think that's a science in and of itself, and this makes it a little bit more interesting than like aspirational, hey, look, this guy got this thing, and I'm hoping that I'll get it in the future. I want to make this a little bit of educational, or at least like me learning and you learning with me. So, there are billion-dollar companies like Microsoft, who owns Xbox, and so just kind of taking a look at like how they format it. So, different colors here on the side, but very this actually almost looks Nintendo-y, because Nintendo usually has like the red and like green, but this is kind of an Xboxy green. So anyways, when we look at like a box that opens in this format and then reveals this, like, crazy how great that like looks when you're like just looking at it and then it reveals, right? I mean, it almost is like the wedding ring type of thing, right? Like you're just poop, open it up. But this is great. Like the form factor of this, right? There's some random like markings around, right, which kind of fit the aesthetic, but interesting. Interesting that they chose to do certain things, right? You have like the radial, which is kind of like suggests like a design, right? Or like a UI, a augmented reality UI, like that sometimes appears around stuff. You have like little arrows and shapes pointed at stuff, which kind of symbolize like, stats or um, like a blueprint on something. So inside of here, you have four all into the Starfield, right? Super cool. You have the Constellation logo, faction in the game. So trying to get the controller out, right? It just kind of falls out, which is nice. There's a lot of dust on mine. I don't know if the camera can pick it up. There's actually a lot of dust in here. So I know that I didn't get like one of the launch controllers, but there it is. I really like the markings. It just feels like it's a cool piece of tech. There's actually texturing on the RB and LB buttons, so the left shoulder buttons here. And then the triggers, they're clear, which is interesting. I was not expecting them to be clear. There's a lot of texturing on the controller handle, which I think I like. There's a slot for batteries. This thing does come with batteries, so the batteries were underneath, which I think is a really smart way. Sometimes you see like they have a separate compartment, but there was space already in the box for that, so yeah, makes sense. I was expecting this to be like a sheet of paper, but just looks like a glued in insert in here, which is interesting. That means that probably someone had to form the box and then tape this inside or paste it inside. Yeah, this feels like it's glued in. Oh no, it's actually inserted into the top. There's a little tab here on the top. And this bottom part here comes out, and there's stuff underneath. Some of the books and the pamphlets and the warranty stuff. So when you look at the box as a whole, so it looks like this gets folded in, this gets folded in, the sides. There's like cardboard lines on it, but it looks like kind of a four-way up and in to form this box shape here. The top part's probably the same. It's really interesting if a machine put these together. It might have been just people who put it together, but I'm always like a super big like person who respects people who have to go through this, right? And Apple is like one of the best companies to create like a good unboxing experience. So ultimately, very cool. I'm happy with this. I love the property of Constellation logo on the back. There's also some extra like flavor text here. I know it's hard to see. There's not a focus there. But it says refer to flight manual before operating, which is really funny. But yeah, I'll be using this for obviously gaming, but also some future projects that might require that, which hopefully might be featured in the future. So that's fun. So there's the controller. I have another thing to unbox, but we'll save that for later. So I'll get some time on that. I'm super busy, so I don't know when I'll actually be gaming to test it out. But I'll accompany the unboxing with a review. But just from a casual, like, playing around with some of the triggers and some of the buttons and stuff, seems like a normal Xbox controller. And it's going to be my third one. That was a limited edition one. But, I've got this one. I've got kind of an old school retro-y style. It's based off of like the Xbox. And then I had this one, which is just kind of a base version of the Xbox One controller. So I've got 3 controllers, Xbox controllers, and so they all feel about the same, and Xbox controllers, in my opinion, are higher quality than PS controllers, and so yeah, cool. Hopefully we're still streaming. It says I'm recording, so we're good there. So let's go back to this screen. So the Pocket Founder dev update. Oh dear. Well, I'm super excited to do that one. Alright, so let me just get set up on my phone here. So we're going to do a screen share of the phone. And what do I got to do is call myself on Discord from my burner account. Alright, we're muted on both sides, so sorry for everyone who thought they had a Discord call. So cool. We're just going to move the screen for Discord over here. No. The share screen is on this side. Here we go. We're going to watch this in full screen. Cool. I'm off to the side, which is good. I'll probably have to crop some of the stuff going forward. But actually, does Discord have any... No, I don't want that. Can I get rid of people? Hide members? There we go. But then the... Oh, okay. Good. Nice. That looks actually a whole lot better, and I might keep it that way. Alright, so let's look at the... Oh, that's the existing Pocket Founder app. Let's go into Expo. So the new Pocket Founder app. So, not in a functional state, but same old poke is back, which is nice. You know, some people were talking about like Bun or Expo or all the different types of systems here. If Expo could load for the first time faster, that would be great. I know people were like talking about Node.js versus Bun. Well, Expo, let's get your build times a little bit faster. So yeah, this is the new interface for the Pocket Founder dev update. But before I get into that, I gotta make an intro. So let's go full screen. Let's get ourselves centered. Just be quiet for a few moments so that it creates that like gap in the audio, so I know when I come back later to this recording, the recording of the full stream, I'll be able to just pull out this part. So anyways, let's just roll up our sleeves real quick. Alright. Wearing the Tom Brady sweater. Alright, so what are we? Week 5, and it's the version 2.0 of the app. So, alright, there's going to be multiple takes on this, and it's going to be painful, but we're going to get through it. Hello everyone, my name is G. Welcome to week 5 of the Pocket Founder dev updates. Thank you so much for following the journey of Pocket Founder for these past few weeks. If you've seen some of the most recent ones, you'll know that Pocket Founder has undergone a lot of different changes. One of which is a major pivot for the central idea of the app. Where Pocket Founder was before, serviced startup founders as a productivity tool. And while that was important, and the feedback I got from testers was it was a really interesting product, it wasn't something that directly affected founders immediately. It didn't serve their immediate needs. So obviously that's disheartening for any startup founder to hear. I'm not immune from that, right? But when that happens, you gotta learn to pick yourself up, pivot, and figure out how to bring the most value to a customer base. So just kind of going back and thinking about how can I help out founders and work in this space. Just casually with the customer interviews, I hadn't gone through new customer interviews to kind of discuss what the pivots were and what they would look like. Instead, it was just natural. A lot of people were just talking about how they needed assistance with their pitch decks and how they really wish that there was kind of a walkthrough process in building it, as opposed to some of the existing platforms, right? You just go into a PowerPoint or Google Slides, here's a blank canvas, go create your masterpiece. Well, for a lot of people, right, when you're starting from nothing and you have the freedom to be able to do everything, right, you kind of you're kind of stuck with like choice paralysis. And so really being able to create a guided process, something that is there for you from start to finish and walk you through it, that's something that was very valuable to people, right? And something that serves an immediate need for them, right? I'm not too convinced in terms of, when people talk about painkillers versus vitamins. I think that it's important, for there to be a range of things, and that most of the products that really affected our lives may have started as vitamins that eventually became painkillers. And Nir Eyal goes into this in his book Hooked, right? That when something becomes habitual for users, it creates an itch, almost a pain, in which the product serves as a painkiller for, right? And so it's hard to say that, like, Pocket Founder as a productivity tool was a painkiller. In some cases it was. In most cases it kind of felt like a vitamin, right? And in some cases, maybe if it turned into a habit for people, it might have elevated to that. But I honestly think that, like, trying to press forward and really focus on, like, being a painkiller could be distracting for a lot of startups, right? Sometimes people just need something on the spectrum from painkiller to vitamin, right? And that some businesses don't need to be this kind of high value, high concentration businesses. You're creating a lot of transactions that are of high margin value, right? That's not really, you're hard pressed to really find a lot of businesses that can make it there. But, Apple is an example, right, of the iPhone. It's high margin. The ecosystem around it produces a lot of revenue for Apple. But ultimately, right, that's one standoutish product. They hit it out of the park and thus are, a $2 trillion company. A lot of other companies are somewhere, near the billions, right, if they're super successful. And even more so, in the, hundreds of $1 million exits. And then, I honestly think it's more people should be fine with making like $1 million ARR businesses, right, that grow, slower over time, but, create and generate revenue that can be distributed back to people. When people talk about, like, being able to buy a home or some of those other things, right? Well, being able to reap a $400,000 salary or 300, whatever you're willing to put back into the business. But if you're creating a good, solid, profit generating business off of, something that might be considered a vitamin, high volume, low margin value, high margin value, low volume. Generally, those are around the, 1 to maybe 200 million ish AR range. You start getting moderate. You switch out those, like, low, volume or margin value in with, like, moderately so, above moderate, below moderate to high low, those kind of ranges in between. That's where you start getting into larger valued companies. But, for the most part, I think that it's kind of underrated to create, like, a good profit generating company that, who knows, you could hire on a CEO, take a little bit less money, and it just runs itself and you get distributions. And I think that's very underrated from an entrepreneur perspective, especially people who start out. You can swing for the hedges, great, It's a lot easier to swing for the hedges when you have like that windfall behind you. So, going back to the app at hand, Pocket Founder. So we're looking at pitch decks nowadays, and really the pain or the problem that we're trying to solve here. It's kind of a second order problem. The I need to be able to create a pitch deck, and I don't know how to, right? Especially from scratch. The first order problem is, fundraising. We need money, right? And so always need to be aware that like the whole goal of the pitch deck is not anything but generating money for the founder, right? So what does that mean, right? So there's pitch decks. Everyone kind of uses some of these terms interchangeably. There are pitch decks, there are slide decks, there are sales decks, right? Marketing decks, so on and so forth. Some companies might need a tech deck. Pitch deck is you're sitting down with an investor, potentially virtually, but you're sitting or standing, whatever you'd like, and you're having your 30-minute to 15-minute or hour-long discussion with them, and you need a little bit of background as you're talking, right? It's even a 5-minute, 7-minute pitch without some form of visual background behind it. It's really hard for someone to focus and follow, right? Me talking for an extended period of time. This is very meta. So because of that meta comment, I'll just bring in the app real quick. So focusing on, it's that direction. Pitch decks. So it's a visual piece of item for a founder to use to talk with an investor, which is different from a slide deck. A slide deck is something that you might include in an email, right? That is more comprehensive because you're not talking over it. And as a result, because you're talking over a pitch deck needs to be as lean as possible. Maybe even just pictures. Very few words. Maybe just a very descriptive figure, right? A chart, a illustration, some form of graphic that you created that really presses home what you're talking about, right? It helps to be able to have someone have multiple points of contact when you're making a point. So what does that mean? And I'll actually go into the wireframes real quick. If I can find the tab. Oh, good Lord, where's the tab? All right, edit this part out, George. Is it this? No. Where the hell is it? Oh, it's on the Discord thing. Yeah, there it is. All right. Go back to 2.0. So these are some of the wireframes that I created. No, let's hide this side there. Cool. All right. So these are some of the slides. Okay. Reset. Point in the right direction, George. Jeez. All right. So these are the slides used in the app to kind of form the base of a pitch deck. For a lot of these slides, the template is some form of background photo with as few words as possible. I'm going to be adding a hard character limit. It's just going to be like OG Twitter, right? Hard character limit. We're not expanding it. We're not letting you have more. Less is more. Less words, the better. All right? And in fact, as a founder, your goal should be economy of words, right? In the economy of words, you're using the least amount of words in order to illustrate your point, because the point of a pitch is not just to explain everything wholly, right? It's to drive interest in investment, right? Because your goal is to fundraise, right? We went back to the central point. Your goal is to create money for your startup. Helping an investor fully understand a business may get you to that money, but what will actually get them to invest is to see a strong opportunity through the business. All right. A comprehensive view may do that, but generally, in my experience, right, you're just trying to find the path of least resistance to proving that your business is a tremendous opportunity, right? And that is playing to your strengths. That is, you know, showing strong presence, showing a great product, showing great traction. Traction, probably the best indicator, second to team. So when we look at a slide deck here, right? Or a pitch deck, sorry. You have the title slide there. You have the story slides. You have unique value proposition. Just looking at a few of the slides here. They're not done yet in the app. If not, I would have shown you. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So when you think about the story slide, right, you're talking about it, right? I'll just pick someone at random. Someone who's probably watching, so it looks like, right now as I record. So let's just take a potential user to demonstrate what a story would be. Hey, here's Gary. He's a startup founder. This is his first startup. And he's super excited to be able to generate value to investors for his investing app. There's a totally random person I made up. Definitely not real. Don't worry about them. I would include a photo of said person, probably a stock photo since this is a fake person, right? And would probably create like a little subtitle to their picture of who that person is. You connect a name with a story, helps an investor connect automatically, right? That's just an example of how a pitch deck is different than a slide deck. As a slide deck, you're not telling the story, right? The slides need to. So you're going to have a little bit more there. Not too much. They're not reading a book, right? But just a little bit more so that the story gets across. So that's what we're trying to accomplish in the Pocket Founder app. And we're getting there. So let's go back to the app here. So we're back in the app. And you can see that the structure is pretty similar to the old app. We've stripped away a lot of the stuff that was related to productivity, some related to social. We've discussed it before that there were like kind of 3 different avenues, right? And what I'm really focusing on now, even though it's kind of education, I think it's more so helping someone build, right? And so it's learn by doing as opposed to like just watching a video on how to do it and watching a lecture, but actually being able to walk someone through it, right? And so by being able to provide those templates that I showed there in the wireframes and a little bit of kind of Duolingo-y style, like, and, you know, there's other apps that I've drawn inspiration from, Codecademy and some other apps like that. Just being able to provide a little bit of education flavor on top of, you know, some templates, I think that'll really help people in able to build their pitch deck. So you can see here, I actually worked on a lot of this stuff on stream. I'm streaming every weekday, unless I have a conflict, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 5:30. You can watch me as I live build the app and when I do kind of my startup entrepreneurial journey in general. So, you know, I've had a couple startups with some mild success, but I'm definitely not one of the, you know, big bosses in the startup world yet. So, you know, as I'm working my way up to there, I'm documenting my journey and hopefully inspiring more people to do it. So on the screen, you know, please feel free to follow me on Twitch and get notified on when I'm next streaming. I've shown this on stream the pitch deck. I'm excited to show it here. So this is kind of the same format as the old. You're able to create a pitch deck, and we'll just name it, just first for now. Oh, we've got an error. Ark. Great. What happened there? All right, we're gonna have to cut that portion out, or keep it in. So anyways, this is the problem. Pitchdeck.js. Alright, so let's go to pitchdeck.js. I was not expecting to code today. Code during stream today. I like to have a little bit of variety in the stream, but I guess not. Alright, so on line 78 here, it says, cannot read property length of undefined. Well, there's length of undefined there, or length of slides. So slides does not exist yet, and so where am I getting this pitch deck from? Pitch deck is params pitch deck. Oh, okay. So when I go from select pitch deck and I create a new pitch deck, navigate to pitch deck navigation. Yeah. But I didn't provide a new pitch deck. That's unfortunate. Yeah. So this is just a straight up item. So what I gotta do here. That's crazy. Add pitch deck name. Add pitch deck name. Is that an actual thing? Or no, it's add pitch deck with name. Well, instead of passing in the routes the whole pitch deck, I could just pass the index of it. Right? So, yeah. So instead, this will just be the index, and then this will be deck index colon index, and then here, and this will be. Oh shoot! Yeah. So const deck index is equal to route dot params and the other end route dot param. Yeah. We'll do -1, and then deck index not equal to -1 tertiary operator. I need to pull pitch decks in. So pitch decks from build context, and then pitch decks dot name. Yeah. Dot deck? Is it dot deck? Yeah. Dot deck. Alright. So there's that. No index needed. It'll actually be pitch decks dot length. Because when you create a new one, it's just on the end. So the length is the one on the end. Is that right? So if there's no deck, oh wait, it would be length -1. Yeah, it's one back. All right. So we added a pitch deck. We have the name. We have the blah blah blah. We're sending over to the pitch deck itself. All right. This didn't actually create anything. So now let's go back to the app. View. There. Why did everything... Okay. Worried there for a second there, Discord. Alright, let's try this again. So we'll use a different name. Create. Still broken. But, oh, because it's not slides. Alright. Yeah, it's not named slides. Dang it. Pitch deck, pitch deck. Oh no. Add pitch deck slide. How did I design this? I've already forgotten. Don't spend a few days looking at this and it gets a little messed up. No, so it's a object. It's a list of objects, and so when I add a pitch deck slide, yeah, I grab the new pitch deck index. Yeah, that's correct. But I'm not pushing it into this itself. I'm pushing it into slides. That's not going to fix this problem. This is just future problems that are going to arise because I forgot to do it. When you create it, pitch deck is an object, I think. Yeah. No. Yeah, it's already an object. So the deck is the slides. Name not equal to name. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, we'll do pitch deck slides. If we need to create a new one, we'll just provide that. And then this is slides. And it'll either be an empty array or an array that someone can provide, and someone can provide the name if you're taking an old pitch deck and you're porting it over, for example. Slides.push. That's fine. That should be fine to like terminate that. What is slide not equal, or slide equal to undefined? What was I trying to do there? What the heck is slide? I do it here too. Oh, no. Slides from this. Oh, I probably just copy pasted it. Yeah, so the pitch deck. Okay. So it's that or the slides version of that, I believe. Yeah. And then and the fact that this should exist and that. Wow, that is one messy conditional. But we're living at it. We'll test that out later. But anyways, we need to get this thing to work. So when we add, that'll have slides that are empty, and it should work. So moment of truth. Alright, still not working. So line 77 in pitch deck, which is this one. Pitch deck dot selected slides dot deck. What am I doing? This one also doesn't store anything, so that's why I'm like being able to create a pitch deck without it actually saving to the system. Do I want it saved until the user hits saved? No, I want it saved when they connect. So this add pitch deck is actually, all of these really are stores because they need to store this stuff, but oops, we'll just borrow that and just do it. Pitch decks, yeah, and this already does that, so we're good. And you just need to do new pitch decks here. Great. One down, a lot more to do. Just kidding. Just 3. New pitch deck. New pitch deck. I don't think I fixed the other problem. So dot slides. So when the slides are length of 0. Did I fix it? Nope. Pitch deck dot length. Oh, since I already grabbed the slides, these don't need to have the word slides after them. Is that confusing if they were just that? Alright, let's see. Pitch deck. Where pitch deck is used, do any of them have slides? Slide, 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 slide. No slides. Cool. We should be good. Whoa, and we lost the screen share. Let me get that back real quick. Sorry, stream. This is why you watch the stream, right? You get to see me mess up a lot. Hopefully it makes everyone feel better about themselves. They don't mess up as much as me. Alright, let's create. Test. Create. Except that's wrong. But we'll take it. It didn't crash. We'll take it. It didn't crash. So what's wrong with the name? The name took this no pitch deck as opposed to the actual name of the thing. Oh. Yeah. Not equal 0. Let's go back. It didn't save either. I think it didn't save. Pitch decks.length. It should be greater than 0 because I just created one. And it worked. Alright. Oh, I should also reset this thing when I close. Ooh. On submit editing. Crap. Yeah. So you're going to do 2 things here. You're going to both on press and you're going to set name. Oh, we got to do that for this one as well. I'll beautify this thing later. But that shouldn't affect this, I don't think. Let's look. Select pitch deck. On press, name. His name. Alright, let's just do some console logging to figure this out. Let's put this here. Actually, I want to see what this is. Property name of undefined. Where is that? Okay, so deck index was -1. Params dot deck index. All right. We'll console log the index. We'll just create a random one, and we'll see over here. What did it say? Oh, undefined. Right. I did this wrong. So that, and that. And then new pitch decks. Well, let's just take a look at this. Stored object. Alright, well, let's go back to this. It's not working. But retrieve context from storage doesn't exist. That's not right. What's that? I don't know why I'm getting this. Sorry. I'm just looking at the logs on one side. Weird. So pitchdex.length is over 2 right now. So why isn't it showing the flat list? Oh my god, I'm not going to be able to do the dev update because I can't fix it. Ah, dang it. Alright, well, I'll have to fix that tonight. Need some fresh eyes to take a look at it. But, alright. Alright. Sorry about that. Alright, let's get back to the full face cam. Shoot, what am I gonna do? I could skip the dev update. That would suck, skipping a week. Or do I'll do a dev update later in the week. It'll be fine. It'll be a delay, but I think it's best if I keep to doing a dev update every week. And if it just so happens that I miss a day, or I'm late by a few days, it's whatever. It's whatever. I'll deal with it. All right. So, on to the next line item. Descript. I think I babbled too much in the beginning anyways, so I gotta think about how to tighten up the intro for that. But anyways, this is Descript. What I was talking about, the video editor with the kind of should I make this into a video? All right. Intro, review, / first pass through the Descript app. Everything's got to be content, right? All right. Hello, everyone. My name's G. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Descript video editing software. Is that what it's called? Software. Video editing tool? Video editor? Yeah, video editor. All right. Hey, everyone. My name is G. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Descript video editor. Now, what makes Descript different from other video editors is that while they do have the timeline, their main focus is on using a kind of transcription-based editing process. So they transcribe the words that you say during your recording session and then be able to allow for you to edit based off of what you're saying. So not going to be very helpful if you're, creating silent film, but very helpful if you're like me and talk a lot. And as you can see, also say a lot. So, looking at the Descript app, or piece of software here, this is actually going to be my first time actually using it. I went through the kind of video tutorial. The very nice lady went through how to use the platform, so I'm knowledgeable to the point of like what the tutorial says, but I don't know. I might cheat and just use the timeline thing if I get too frustrated. But, first things I see off the bat here is that it highlights every and ah, which is nice. That I get to see that. And I think that well, I thought I could actually remove it. Oh, there we go. Remove filler words. Maybe there's a different way to select it, but we can just do that. So yeah, we can remove all of them. I wonder if that so that removes the piece of video too. So like this is a piece here. So just kind of taking a look. Okay, it just kind of like warps you through the thing. So it might look a little weird from a continuity perspective, that things might be like jumpy between frames, but people don't really like hearing or ah or me thinking in general. So my thoughts are only for me. You don't need to hear when I'm thinking. So this was me actually unboxing the keyboard that I have right now, and I've been really enjoying. Actually, in an addendum to the review that I did here, maybe I should have done a little extra to like show like me having used it for a bit. I didn't realize there wasn't a backlight to this keyboard, so I guess I should have realized that. It's not a huge deal, but I'm sure people will complain about not having backlit stuff, and if I turn off the lights in my room, then but I'm good enough with a QWERTY keyboard that like I know where all the keys are, so backlight's not really an option. I'm imagining if someone was like, they might need it, but whatever. I guess if I take out all the ums and ahs, the only other thing that I would need to worry about is, what's this? Regenerate edit. What does that mean? What did that change? Overdub. I was really... Oh, no, don't do that. Control Z. There we go. Regenerate. Oh, I see. Um, I don't know what that was, to be honest. But at least I'm able to control Z out of it. So I guess I could sit here and force you to read it through with me, but you'll just watch the video and hopefully it'll be better. But yeah, so probably the big thing with like the transcript would be removing filler sentences, right? And stuff that doesn't really matter. Another thing that I could remove is um, yeah, remove or add in or redub existing like lines that I said. Um, but for the most part, actually, like for me personally, I don't really need to like change the words that I say. I'm usually pretty cool with them. I don't like read off of a script. It's off the cuff, just like this. I just go slower and I talk slower to give me time, give myself time to think through the words, or I'll just re-record it until I get it right, and it takes a couple times, right? So, for the most part, like I'm more concerned about like downtime when I'm not talking, and so that comes up. So, yeah. I'll be right back on stream. All right, sorry about that. I might have to cut the stream a little bit early, but just looking at this, yeah, I might actually just like if I could export this as a video, use Descript to deal with any transcription based stuff there, and then later on dealing with any of the any of the like big pauses in not talking or skipping over certain stuff. I would much rather use the timeline for that. So using the transcript based stuff in Descript and then switching over to Camtasia to deal with like the gaps in video, of which Camtasia, because it shows like stuff along the bottom, helps me a lot more in like finding out where the dead zones are. Also, like this timeline is really short, and I don't know if you can like pull it out. Oh, kinda, kinda. We're kind of getting there. What? Eek. Is this what? It's just so not useful. The timeline. The timeline is probably the least interesting part of Descript, but the transcription software very useful, especially for like podcasts and stuff. I could segment videos and create clips based off of transcripts. Also very useful. I would probably just use the transcription software to like raw clip something, take that raw clip, and then move it over to Camtasia to do any other edits that I need. So it's unfortunate. It has some pretty good other features, right? I think somewhere you can like add in like videos and like uh, clip art and not clip art, stock photos and different types of stuff like that. I don't actually know where it is. I should, but yeah. So overall, Descript. If I were to give it a review, I don't know how early of a product it is. If it's an early product, a 2.5 out of 5. The timeline, I think it's a conjunction of the two. The timeline, the transcription based software is useful, but not what's the main point of editing. The editing is being able to holistically look at a video, not just the thing that's being said, but the actual visuals in and of itself, and like trying to move through the timeline, it's like the bottom timeline is not good, in my opinion, and how I've been used to using it, right? Being able to add separate tracks and this and that. So I might be using it in conjunction with a different tool. If this was just primarily a like transcription editor, great. 5 out of 5. It does what it's supposed to. Being a full packaged video editor that I'm supposed to create finished videos from, 2.5 out of 10. It gets half the job done, right? So it gets half the stars. So there's that. So thank you for watching my review of Descript. I hope it was helpful in helping you understand, what the product looks like. But yeah, 2.5 out of 5. I would recommend only the transcription feature. Don't really care about the rest. Is it worth the paid version? It's a little bit pricey for just the transcription and other stuff, but it does have a better interface than like the GPT tools that you would have to do like in an API or something like that. So just from an interface perspective, like, do I value the interface at that certain price to be able to have the transcription powers? Some of the other AI stuff that they were mentioning, like some of the other AI stuff that they were mentioning, like being able to create studio quality sound, basically just like AI touch-up. I'm more so concerned about getting content out the door as opposed to like making it perfect. So that, at least for me, it's not as useful. I'm sure if someone was creating like Hollywood level stuff, they're probably not using this. Maybe they are. Maybe some inspiring movie makers are. But overall, would probably just stick to the free version for as long as that'll take me. And if I had reached the scale in which I decided, like, hey, I'm making enough videos that require transcription services that I would consider a paid version, I'd probably have hired an editor at that point, and then it's up to the editor of whatever they're comfortable with. So, from an editor's point of view, probably just using the transcription and using whatever editor that I'm most comfortable with. So, that's my opinion of it. I hope you enjoyed this review. 2.5 stars out of 5. And would recommend the transcription feature, would not recommend Descript as a video editor. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Alright. I really need to get better at concluding videos. I like hit the main point, and then I'm ready to do the outro, and then I like kind of repeat the conclusion. I do that a lot. Something I'm going to have to get better on. So, cool. We're at 5:11. Got 15 minutes left. Let's take a look back at the schedule. Over here. Let's go back to the stream schedule. Brainstorm future content. Well, we can do that right after we create the Wednesday schedule. So Wednesday, aka Hump Day. Yeah, this might just be a coding day because I missed Tech Tuesday, which is unfortunate. I guess I could do another unboxing of this. Unfortunately, I would have to figure out how to record myself using it, which is really difficult because I need a monitor to connect it into. But then you wouldn't be able to live stream what's on here. So then I'd have to figure out how to like record from my phone the thing, but then it would have crappy quality because it's recording a screen. I don't know how to like screen cap a screen that's not connected to a computer. So maybe I'll figure that out. That's when I can do like cool IoT streams with like this Jetson NVIDIA Nano. But until then, Unfortunately, can't do that. I'm really hoping. I mean, it's unfortunately winter. I was hoping to get that one in, but there was a severe shortage of different microcontrollers. But I was really hoping to be able to do like some fake farming automation and like some vertical farming experiments in like the backyard. But fortunately, it didn't come in time, and now it's already fall. So things are gonna get cold. It's also been stupid wet. So um, obviously, sticking microcontrollers outside when it's wet is not a wedding formula. But what we're gonna do on Wednesday, work on Pocket Founder. Really, that's my biggest hump, is getting through that. Um, I was asked to create a press release and think about it from like the Jeff Bezos slash Amazon style thing, where everything you do is from the perspective of a press release. And so crafting a mock press release for PF Pocket Founder. And so what would like the press release be, right? So it would talk about the pivot, right, and my plans going forward. But maybe study press releases slash famous presentations. So this is probably like some film study, right? So we can watch that together and like do some reviews there. Some of that stuff, like Steve Jobs' famous presentation. Steve Jobs is great at it. The Microsoft ones are cringe, so I'm not going to be watching that. There are presentations by a lot of different companies that are really great. Probably watching those to kind of see how people format that. So it's not really a press release in terms of like in paper, but hopefully it'll improve how I do the dev experiences and probably some form of a product slash company showcase, and do that on a reoccurring basis. And I think that's really important, especially like the pivot to the pitch deck product, right? When I'm introducing myself to people at networking events, I think it's going to drive a lot more interest than what it was before. But yeah, it's really unfortunate. I feel it's a little bit discouraging, right? Coming post pivot. But on the other hand, I'm really excited to be working on pitch decks, right? And working on helping founders with their pitch decks. So, you know, that's what you can expect going forward on Wednesday. We're right on 5:15, so I think that I'm done with Wednesday. Real quick, tomorrow, Tech Tuesday, not going to happen. I'll be on a panel at Startup Week Boston, talking about big data, because you know me, G the big data guy. I'll be, helping provide some insights there. They asked for the investor perspective. I'll give the investor perspective on big data. It'll be really raw and unfiltered. This is not the 11th, I just noticed. It is the 13th. So cool. I'll be throwing that out on socials soon. But yeah, I really appreciate people sticking around for the stream. I really enjoy doing them. They're kind of more casual, off the cuff, a little bit less pressure for me in terms of like having to re-record over and over again the pre-recorded content, which is great in my opinion. But I do think that for like mass dissemination and reaching the most people, the pre-recorded content probably works a lot more than the streams, because I'm sure people can get bored of me pretty quick. So there's that. I've got football referee training later tonight, so I'll be off doing that later tonight. So part of the reason why I don't go past like 5:30, that's my work time or my going to events time, because everyone loves putting events at like late at night, which is great. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time stream. Have a good one.